For nearly 2 decades, Bitcoin's code has been seen as pretty much unbreakable. But what happens when a whole new kind of computer comes along? A computer designed to crack the very codes that protect our digital world. So let's get into it and break down what this quantum test really means for Bitcoin's future.
I mean, we're not talking about small change here. This is a network that, at its peak, is securing almost $2 trillion in value. So yeah, the stakes for getting this right are, well, they're absolutely massive.
And that really gets to the heart of the matter, right? What if some new technology could just break the code holding all that value together? This, my friends, is what everyone's calling the quantum threat.
All right, so let's dive into that. Section 1, Bitcoin's $2 trillion quantum risk. Let's really unpack what we're dealing with here, because this isn't some small bug. It's a potential threat to the very foundation of how the network even works.
Okay, so here's the deal. All of Bitcoin's security, and I mean all of it, rests on this one big idea. It's called the cryptographic assumption. Basically, it's the belief that if you have a regular computer, it's just computationally impossible to take someone's public address and figure out their secret private key. And for years, that assumption has been absolutely rock solid.
But here's the twist. There's a whole new class of machines coming, and these aren't just faster laptops. We're talking about quantum computers. They literally think differently. And the scary part? They're being designed to solve the exact kind of math problem that keeps Bitcoin safe.
But hold on. This isn't just a story about a threat. In fact, this is where it starts to get really interesting, because a potential solution is already in the works. And that brings us to our next section, the arrival of a quantum-proof testnet.
So a company called BTQ Technologies has rolled out something you can pretty much think of as a flight simulator for Bitcoin. It's a full-blown test network that lets developers practice flying with new quantum-safe code, but without risking the real multi-trillion-dollar network. It's genius, really.
Now, what's so cool about this is the specific upgrade they're testing. So every Bitcoin transaction is sealed with a digital signature, right? Think of it like a unique, unforgeable wax seal. On the left, you see what Bitcoin uses now, something called ECDSA. Don't worry about the name. On the right, the testnet swaps that out for MLDSA. Now here's the key difference. MLDSA has been officially approved by NIST, that's the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, as being quantum resistant. We're literally watching the move from today's standard to the next generation.
So what can developers actually do in this flight simulator? Well, for one, they can implement these new signatures. They can run complete transaction tests, wallets, signing, the whole shebang. But most importantly, it's a totally risk-free sandbox. It's a place to find bugs, to measure performance, to kick the tires before any of this code gets anywhere near the real Bitcoin network.
And you can really feel the excitement, or maybe relief from the community. One analyst, Rajat Soni, just laid it out there. He said, "We needed this ASAP to stop the fear, uncertainty, and doubt." That really shows you how important this kind of proactive work is.
Okay, but here's where things get a little more complicated. We need to add a layer of nuance, because this quantum threat, it's not a blanket problem. Not all Bitcoin are equally at risk, and that brings us to the uneven nature of this whole thing.
So this slide really shows you the big divide. On one side, you've got your high-risk coins. These are mostly from the really early days of Bitcoin, the Satoshi era stuff. The problem is their public keys are just sitting out there, permanently visible on the blockchain. That gives a quantum computer a forever, unchanging target to attack. But on the other side, you have modern wallets. They do something clever. They hide the public key until the very moment you spend the coins. So that shrinks the attack window from, forever down to just a few minutes while your transaction is getting confirmed. Big difference.
So how big of a deal is this high-risk group? Well, when you run the numbers, estimates suggest that close to 30% of all Bitcoin in circulation falls into this more vulnerable category, where the public keys are already out in the open.
And to put a real number on that 30%, we could be talking about an upper estimate of around 6.5 million Bitcoin. Just think about that. That pile of coins even includes the legendary stash that's believed to belong to Satoshi Nakamoto himself.
Now, I know numbers like that can sound pretty alarming, but it's so important to put them in the right context. This isn't about fixing a crisis overnight. This is a classic case of a marathon, not a sprint.
And that's the key takeaway here, really. This is not an overnight crisis. Upgrading the world's cryptography is a huge project. We're talking about global institutions planning these kinds of transitions over decades, not months.
And this timeline lays it out perfectly. Look, NIST just standardized these new signatures this year, 2024. But they don't even plan to start phasing out the old ones until 2030. Even the NSA, the National Security Agency, has set its own deadline for 2035. That's why most experts estimate the actual threat to modern Bitcoin addresses is still decades away, probably 2040 or even later.
Okay, so with that long-term view in mind, what has to happen next? How does Bitcoin actually get from here to there? Let's bring it all home and look at the real challenge ahead.
The road forward really breaks down into a three-part challenge. First up, coordination. I mean, just imagine trying to get a totally decentralized network of developers, miners, exchanges, and users to all agree on an upgrade path. That is a monumental task. Second, you need intense testing. That's exactly where these testnets are so critical. And finally, you have the migration itself, a slow, careful, probably multi-stage transition that will happen over many years.
And this right here is the most crucial point of all. The right move is preparation, not panic. Think of these testnets as the early warning systems. They let the entire ecosystem find problems and build solutions long before there's ever a crisis, making sure that when the time comes, the transition is as safe and smooth as possible.
So that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. The quantum era is coming, there's really no doubt about that. The real question is, how will we remember this moment? Will it be Bitcoin's biggest challenge, the one that finally broke its promise? Or will it be its greatest evolution, the moment it proved it could adapt and endure for a whole new generation? Well, I guess only time will tell.